Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad the cosmos has brought you to this channel. And if you've been here for a while, you already know what we do. We take the energy of the skies and we ground them into something real, something you can actually feel and work with in your everyday life. Today, we are talking about May 2026 for Aries. And I want to say up front, this is a month that carries real weight, not in a way that should scare you, but weighty in the way that meaningful things feel. May is asking something of you. It's asking you to slow down just enough to hear what's true for you, to make deliberate moves instead of reactive ones, and to trust that the groundwork you lay this month has roots that will hold you through the rest of the year. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's walk through May together. As always, this reading is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and trust your cosmic blueprints. So let's begin at the very top of the month. On May 1st, you have the Scorpio Full Moon, and this is not subtle energy. Full moons always illuminate, and a Scorpio Full Moon illuminates what's been in the dark. The things you haven't said, the emotions you haven't let yourself fully feel, and the situations where you've been holding power over yourself out of fear. For Aries, Scorpio sits in your 8th house, the house of transformation, shared resources, intimacy, and the deeper undercurrents of your closest relationships. A full moon here is asking you to face something you may have been avoiding in the realm of deep connection or emotional vulnerability. Is there a conversation that needs to happen? A dynamic in a close relationship that's been quietly draining you? An old fear around trust, abandonment, or control that keeps showing up in how you relate to others? This full moon doesn't want you to perform an emotion. It wants you to feel it, acknowledge it, and then release your grip on it. So, Aries, you're a sign of courage, and yet the 8th house asks for a different kind of courage, the courage to be emotionally naked, to let someone see the parts of you that you normally armor up. Also on May 1st, Venus in Gemini makes a sextile to Saturn in Aries. This is a quiet but steadying aspect for you personally, since Saturn is moving through your own sign right now. So Venus here softens the sometimes harsh edge of Saturn in Aries and reminds you that structure and discipline don't have to feel punishing. In love, in creativity, in how you present yourself, there's something to be said for showing up with both beauty and backbone. This aspect supports conversations that are both honest and kind. As you move through the first week, there's a building tension on May 4th when Mars in Aries makes a square to Jupiter in Cancer. So Mars is still in your first house, your house of self-identity and personal drive, and Jupiter is in your 4th house of home, family, and roots. A square between these two creates a friction that you'll feel in your body. You may feel the strong urge to act, to do, to charge forward, but Jupiter in Cancer is pulling you toward home, toward emotional matters, and towards something unresolved with family or your sense of security. So, this is not a day to make big impulsive decisions. The energy is loud and a little bit restless. So, use it to move your body, to release physical tension, to have a direct but compassionate conversation if something on the family front has been building. The square isn't bad, it's generative if you channel it consciously. But if you let it run unchecked, you may find yourself being more aggressive or expansive than the situation actually calls for. On May 5th, Mercury in Taurus makes a square to Pluto in Aquarius. So Mercury is in your 2nd house and Pluto is in your 11th. This is a provocative mental energy. It's the kind of day where something is said or something you read or a conversation you have pulls back the curtain on something you didn't fully want to see. So in financial matters, this could mean uncovering information that changes how you feel about a situation. In the realm of friendships or community, you might realize that someone's values or motives are not quite what you assumed. So, this is information. Let it land without overreacting and trust that what's being revealed is useful, even if it's uncomfortable. Then on May 6th, Pluto stations retrograde in Aquarius, and it will remain retrograde through much of the rest of the year. So, Pluto in your 11th house has been asking big questions about your relationship with collective spaces, the groups you belong to, the friendships you invest in, and the vision you hold for your future. So, while Pluto's direct, this process often feels more external. You encounter the transformation through what's happening around you. But then, when Pluto goes retrograde, it internalizes. The transformation moves inside. For Aries, this is a season of asking yourself, who do I actually trust? Which communities truly reflect who I am and who I want to become? Am I pursuing dreams that are genuinely mine, or are they dreams I've absorbed from others? These are not quick questions, but they are important ones. Pluto retrograde will hold those questions open for months, and that's a gift. You don't have to answer them all in May, but you do have to start being honest with yourself. On May 16th, the Taurus New Moon falls in your second house, and this is one of the most practically powerful lunations of your year. New moons are planting energy. They mark the beginning of a new cycle. And when that new moon falls in Taurus in your second house, it's asking you to begin a new cycle around money, material stability, and self worth. Taurus energy is not quick and it's not flashy. It's patient, deliberate, and deeply committed to building something that lasts. And for Aries, who tends to operate at speed, this new moon is a necessary counterbalance. It says slow down, be intentional, and ask yourself what you actually value. So, some questions to sit with around this new moon. What is your relationship with money right now? Not just the numbers, but the feeling. Does money feel like something you chase, something you fear, or something that's never quite enough? Are there money habits that are working against you? Are there skills or resources you have that you're undervaluing or underutilizing? So, this is a beautiful new moon to set very grounded, practical intentions, not vague ones like, I want to be wealthy, specific ones, a new income stream you want to explore, a savings habit you want to establish, a conversation about compensation you've been putting off. The Taurus new moon supports all of it. There's also a meaningful buildup in this lunation. So on May 13th, Mercury in Taurus makes a sextile to Jupiter in Cancer. And on May 14th, the Sun and Mercury are conjunct in Taurus. So this Mercury Jupiter sextile is genuinely good news for financial thinking. Your mind is sharp, your ideas around money and resources are expansive, and there may be an opportunity that presents itself through communication, writing, or a conversation that you shouldn't overlook. The Sun Mercury conjunction on the 14th brings clarity and confidence. You're able to articulate your ideas and your worth with unusual precision in the days leading up to the new moon. So use this window. Now we get to the pivot of May. So between May 17th and May 20th, four planets change signs. So this is a significant energetic gear shift and it affects Aries in very specific and layered ways. So Mercury moves into Gemini on May 17th, and for Aries, Gemini rules your third house, the house of communication, learning, local community, and how your mind moves through the world. Mercury in Gemini is in its home, meaning it operates at full power here. Your mind is quick, curious, and highly communicative. Ideas come fast, conversations multiply. There's a desire to learn, write, talk, and share. This is a wonderful energy for content, for pitching ideas, for networking, and for having multiple things on the go mentally. But there's something else happening on May 17th that deserves attention. Mercury enters Gemini and almost immediately conjuncts Uranus, which is also in Gemini. So Mercury conjunct Uranus is electric. It's the kind of energy that produces sudden insights, unexpected information, and mental breakthroughs. So something you hear, read, or realize on or about May 17th could shift your thinking significantly. So stay open. This isn't an energy that rewards rigidity. It rewards the willingness to let your mind be surprised. On May 18th, Mars enters Taurus and Venus enters Cancer. So this is a big day. Mars has been in Aries, your first house, for several weeks, and that has given you enormous drive, initiative, and physical energy. But Mars in Aries in your first house is Mars in its home, in your home. You've likely felt unstoppable in certain ways, or at a minimum, very clear about what you want and ready to go after it. When Mars moves into Taurus and your second house on May 18th, that energy slows down noticeably. So, Mars in Taurus is not lazy, but it is slow and it is steady. The drive that's been pointed outward now turns toward practical building. What do you need to do step by step to actually secure what you've been chasing? So, this is the energy of the long game. Mars in Taurus doesn't sprint, it labors. And for Aries, that can feel frustrating at first, but it's actually exactly what the Taurus New Moon called in. It's the activation of the new financial and value cycle. So Venus moving into Cancer on May 18th places your relationship and pleasure energy into your fourth house, home and family. So this is a warm, nurturing Venus placement. You may find that your desire for comfort and emotional safety increases. There's more pleasure found in the domestic sphere, like creating a beautiful, safe home environment, spending meaningful time with family, cooking good food, retreating from the noise of the world. In love, you are more emotionally available and more drawn to people who offer genuine care and warmth rather than just excitement. The back half of May has some real intensity woven through it, and I want to prepare you for it rather than have it catch you off guard. So on May 22nd, Venus in Cancer makes a square to Neptune in Aries. Venus rules your love life and pleasures. Neptune rules illusion and spiritual longing. And for Aries, Neptune is in your first house, your sense of self and identity. This square can create some confusion in love and relationships. So you may be seeing someone through rose-colored lenses right now, or you may be struggling to see yourself clearly. There's a risk of idealizing a relationship or a person in a way that sets you up for disappointment later. The invitation here is not to become suspicious or closed off, but to stay grounded in what is real and demonstrated rather than what you're imagining or hoping. If something feels too good to be true in your relationships around the states, give it time to prove itself. Then on May 26th, Mars in Taurus makes a square to Pluto in Aquarius. So this is one of the more potent and intense aspects of the month. Mars in your second house of money and resources, squaring Pluto in your 11th house of community and long-term goals. This can surface power struggles around shared resources, financial control, or feeling like your goals are being blocked by external forces or by people in your wider network. This is an aspect that asks you to be aware of where you are pushing too hard and where you might be meeting resistance because the approach needs to change, not the goal. There can also be a purging quality to this energy. So things that are not working in your financial life or in certain friendships may come to a decisive breaking point. Let what needs to go, go. Mars Pluto squares are not gentle, but they are clarifying. On May 28th, Venus in Cancer makes a square to Saturn in Aries. This brings a more serious, sometimes heavy energy to your love life and relationships. Saturn in your first house meeting Venus in your fourth house can feel like emotional tension between your personal needs and the demands of a relationship, or a moment of reckoning in love where you have to be honest about whether what you're building with someone is truly working or whether you've been holding on out of habits or fear rather than genuine alignment. This can also relate to financial responsibilities feeling heavy, especially around the home. This aspect is not the end of anything, but it does demand honesty. Saturn doesn't reward avoidance, it rewards maturity and real accountability. On May 31st, the month closes with a full moon in Sagittarius in your ninth house, the house of expansion, higher learning, philosophy, travel, and belief systems. So, this full moon is genuinely one of the most uplifting lunations of the year for you. After a month that has asked you to deal with depth, transformation, practical rebuilding, and honest reckoning, the Sagittarius full moon arrives like a breath of fresh air. It illuminates your belief system and asks, what do you believe is possible for your life? Not what you think is realistic based on current evidence, but what do you believe at a soul level? Something may come to fruition or completion in the area of learning, travel, teaching, publishing, or spirituality. There's a sense of arrival, of having traveled a certain distance and being able to look back and see how far you've come. This full moon is also a beautiful time to reconnect with what gives your life meaning beyond the day to day. After a month of practical Taurus energy and financial focus, the Sagittarius full moon reminds you that abundance has many dimensions and that the stories you tell yourself about what's possible are some of the most powerful forces shaping your reality. So let me bring this all together for you. May 2026 is a month of real growth for Aries, the kind of growth that doesn't always feel exciting in the moment, but that you will look back on and recognize as deeply important. You begin the month releasing something emotionally, being asked to go below the surface and be honest about what's there. May asks to be both courageous and careful, to initiate and to consolidate, to release what's heavy and to build what's lasting. You are more than capable of that. You were born with the fire to begin things, and this month is teaching you the earth to sustain them. Trust the process, trust your instincts, and as always, trust your cosmic blueprints. So thank you so much for being here. If this reading resonated, please give it a like, share it with a fellow Aries, and subscribe so you never miss a reading. Then until next time, take care of yourselves, beautiful souls, and I'll see you in the next one.